From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Brayden Neville.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ticats Today for this Thursday, July the 20th, 2023. The Ticats completed their walkthrough today as they gear up for tomorrow's Battle of the QEW with the Toronto Argonauts. On today's show, Coach O speaks about what this win could mean for the team. Taylor Powell is cool, calm, and collected and tells us about his week preparing for the big game. And I sit down with ex-Hamilton Ticat Brian Simmons to get his take on tomorrow night's matchup. But first, let's get to some news around the team. The Ticats released their depth chart today, and there's a few notables to the lineup, nothing crazy. Taylor Powell will get the start in place of the injured Matthew Schultz and Bo Levi Mitchell, making his first career CFL start. We will hear from him in just a bit, but let me tell you, this guy is ready to go. That's all I have to say for now. Aside from the change of QB, offense will remain basically the same as last week. Now on defense, the major move will be the return of Tunde Adeleke. Tunde is coming back after being out last week from an injury he suffered in the game against the Red Blacks. Now Tunde will move to halfback on the defense, and Stavros Katsantonis will stay at safety. I asked Coach O about the decision to keep the two out there together, and I also asked him about what kind of statement a win tomorrow can make. All right, Coach, big game tomorrow against the Argos. Do you think a win here in this one would really make a statement to the rest of the teams in the league?
I think a win, just one right after the other, makes a statement in itself. Of course, these guys have, they've earned their record. They're playing great football collectively in all three phases. And, it's a rivalry game. It's fun for everybody. The build-up is fun. It is the next game on the schedule. We understand the importance of an Eastern Division game. It's always a little bit more quote-unquote special due to the media coverage. Whenever you're playing Toronto, we don't run from that at all. We get excited about that. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about our execution. So a win, regardless of opponent, would be big for our team.
And now Tunde returns here to that secondary, and he moves to the half, and now Stavros stays at safety. Just the thought process behind that move there.
Yeah, I wouldn't divulge all of that. It's just we're trying to get better each week, and I think Stavros has played well, and Tunde is one of our guys that needs to be on the field, and so we do a little shuffle there. Rich is very familiar, able to move around, and he's very versatile DB. So is Tunde, and so we're going to take a look at this lineup and see. It's all in the spirit of getting a little bit better each week. Yeah, I think I thought his day 2 was better than day 1, as expected. He hasn't had that many throws. He hasn't taken that many snaps, and I should say meaningful snaps. He has taken snaps, but I think he seems extremely comfortable. And so the only thing that's really left is just the test, and that's game day. We'll see. That's what I mean. That the test is in front of us. So he's not out there by himself. We're a team. There's a lot of other things that go into it. There's a lot of things that we can do to help support him and then just let his talents take over. I think Tommy and the offensive staff have put together a great plan, and now we just go see how we execute it. After the first time, there just wasn't a lot of, 2023 film. So, anytime you have a bigger sample, it just helps you prepare what you think is a little bit better. But there's always going to be new wrinkles. There's going to be things that they're trying to exploit. They have more film on us also, so they're going to exploit that, and that's kind of the fun of it. There's going to have to be some in-game adjustments, and we'll just see. And we just got to play a cleaner football game and ultimately find a way to come up with one more point. Yeah, I'd rather play. If we could play them all at home, we'd play them all at home. It's a great atmosphere to be a part of. I say it's always something that you got to feel, not necessarily something that can be talked about. And the fans do an excellent job of just being themselves. And it's our job to perform. And so looking forward to putting this build up behind us, and let's play the game.
That was Coach O. Now, Taylor Powell has been the biggest story of the week as he prepares for his first career start in what isn't exactly the easiest situation at home against the biggest rival, but that hasn't seemed to scare Powell, and he was cool as a cucumber. Let me say this, cool as a cucumber when talking about the upcoming game. Taylor, now that you've had a full week preparing for this game, how are you feeling now heading into this game tomorrow?
Really excited and fired up and super prepared. The guys are ready to roll and ready to get in front of this crowd and hopefully get them going. So,
On the other side, on the other quarterback, Chad Kelly, what do you know about him and coming into this game?
I know a few rookie quarterbacks throughout the league, but the funny thing about Chad is he was my basically like camp counselor whenever I was getting recruited and went to Ole Miss camp. So he was my counselor at that time. So that's a little fun fact for y'all.
Have you had any conversations with him ahead of the game? Or?
No, I don't. Probably doesn't know who I am. So yeah.
And then how important is it in terms of making a statement in the league to get a win here tomorrow night at home against the rival Argos, a team that's in first in the East right now?
I mean, I'll let all the media and all the hype and everything kind of handle all that. I've never really been into like the storylines or anything, right? Because like it's just another game, right? Let's just go play and let's go have some fun with it. I'm never really. That's just me personally. I know there's gonna be whatever, but I don't really buy too much into that. I see a very there's a reason they're 4-0. They're super talented. I think in the back end they play really well together. They're always going to be in the right spot. Their linebackers are super smart, really athletic, and then they're going to get after you up front and stop the run. And there's a reason they're where they are. So we got a great challenge ahead of us, and I'm really excited about it. So I like to think I'm a competitor. I'm going to leave it all out there for my team and my coaches and most of all this city and this organization. I'm not going to leave anything in the tank. That's all people are going to get from me. And I'm just going to go compete my butt off and have some fun. I'll tell you that. I'm going to have a lot of fun playing. I like to think I'm a pretty chill guy and just kind of an outdoorsy guy who likes from Arkansas and just likes to play football and loves this game. And I feel like, I guess getting described like that just comes from my faith and the foundation of who I am, and that's taken time. You know, you got to go through some stuff and develop a sense of character and faith, and I'm super grateful for my journey, and I think hopefully it's just getting started. So
that was Taylor, Powell, and Coach O, but I think it's time now we bring on our guest, 7-year CFL vet, Brian Simmons. Brian, thanks for joining me today, man.
Oh, no problem. I'm happy to be here, Brayden.
Now, Brian, the big story heading into this Argos Ticats game is QB Taylor Powell making his first career CFL start. What does he need to do in this one to have a good game against the Argos?
In all honesty, I hate to use the word or the phrase quarterback or managing quarterback, but I feel like a run game is what will help him. You saw how successful the Ticats were running the ball against Edmonton, and I just feel like it's going to give him all the tools he needs to win, because going into this game, you're playing against a high-powered offense of Toronto. Want to try to keep them off the field as much as possible. I definitely like, how he came in his first series last week, and you could tell he's not afraid. So, to me, that's one thing you love about a rookie quarterback that's not afraid.
Yeah, and even seeing him and talking to him this week during all his press conferences, he sounds like a confident guy. I mean, for example, he told me his first career college start was against Georgia, so I know the moment won't be too big for him. Now, in this game, does it get any bigger regular season-wise than a Ticats Argos Battle of the QEW for your first career CFL start?
Yeah, I know, right? He's really getting thrown into the fire, and I'm glad he's getting a chance to experience it. I think it'll be a great win if Hamilton can pull it off. They can continue their momentum and also slow down Toronto's momentum.
Yeah, like the Ticats O-line last week ranked number 1. I know they were playing Edmonton, maybe not as tough of a challenge as the Argos could be, but how important is it for that O-line to keep him protected and keep those shots from getting to him?
Oh, every game it's always important, but when you have a rookie quarterback coming in, you want to make the game as easy as pie for him. You want him to not even have to think about a backside defensive end in his face or someone blitzing. So the offensive line know that they have to, I'm not going to say play a perfect game, but they have to try to, make things easier for their quarterback.
Now, on the other side of the ball, you have a rookie quarterback as well, but he's playing like an absolute vet and possibly the front runner right now for MOP and Chad Kelly. What have you seen from Chad Kelly so far this season?
Well, and one thing we all forget is all of these guys are pros. These guys have played a lot of football before they got to this stage. And, I think he's playing great ball. I think the number one thing and I'm not taking nothing away from him, but they don't turn the ball over. Like if you
Hmm.
look at they play their turnover ratio, I believe they lead the league in fewest turnovers. If I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I'm right or wrong about that, but yeah, they lead the league in turnover efficiency. So when you have a quarterback that's making good decisions and not turning the ball over, success is going to be there for you. And I think he's playing great. I definitely would like to see some pressure be put in his face. I think that'll help him. But I mean help us. Excuse me. But
Hmm.
yeah, he's playing well so far, and I'm not taking nothing away from him. I think he's coming in. He looks like a veteran. He looks like he's
Yeah.
been here before, and I can honestly say, usually when quarterbacks come to this league from another league, the first season usually isn't as crisp as his has been.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And how important is it, like, for those linebackers to get pressure on him early? Guys like Simone, Thurman, all those guys to get some licks on this guy.
Well, it is very important to get pressure on him from the linebacker position, but you also have to remember if they're putting pressure on him from the linebacker position, they're leaving an open space for coverage
Hmm.
on defense. So ultimately, this is a game where you want your defensive lineman to say, "Hey, we're going to take care of it, put it on us. That way, we can leave guys in coverage and also get pressure on him at the same time."
Now, Chris Edwards has been a highlight for the Ticats in many ways. He's able to get sacks. He's had the big interception already for a touchdown. Just what have you seen from him this season, and how does he continue that play here in this one?
Oh man, he just like you said, very active guy. And as an former offensive lineman, when you playing against a guy that's just that active, and wherever he is, you want to make sure you identify him, locate him, and try to see what kind of scheme he's trying to bring towards you. Um, I think it's great because the defense, in my opinion, if you have a strong defense, it just motivates your offense. It's like, you know what, no matter
Mhm.
what we do, those guys got our back. And that's the kind of guy you would love to have on your team. So I hope he continues it, and keeps it going because that's energy that other guys on the team, they'll feed off of.
Does it, when you play a quarterback like Chad Kelly, who's a dual threat, he can run, he can throw, does it kind of change the mindset when you're on defense at all?
Oh yeah, of course it does because you have to. I mean, you got to play with your eyes, but you also have to play with instinct as well. And I mean, this guy, we're all pros, so it's not like it's something that can be easily done. That's easier said than done. It takes a whole team, a defensive unit to do that. You can't just put one guy and say spy on him. You have to all work together. So it's definitely going to be a challenge for them. But I truly, in the heart of hearts, I just think if they can get pressure on him, and if we could try to at least maintain, win, or somewhat equal out time of possession, I think that's something that'll help Hamilton going into this game.
Now, being an O lineman yourself in your career, was there ever a time where you had a rookie quarterback step in, and as an O lineman, do you feel almost a little more obligated to protect that guy, that new guy stepping in?
I'm trying to think. Who?
Putting
That's
you
a
on the
while
spot
ago.
here.
I know. Because I want to say most of my quarterbacks have been veteran guys. I would say the youngest starter I probably played with would have probably been Zach, and he had already
Yeah.
established himself a year or two in Toronto before he got here. So that's something I can't say I really experienced, but I will say going into it, yeah, I mean, I played left tackle, and that's considered the blind side position. So it's like I just want to make sure my guy's comfortable. I make sure, hey, anything you need an extra towel to dry your hands off. Like whatever it takes. You want your quarterback to just not have to stress and let him know that you got his back. Let him know you'll run through a wall for him.
No, and absolutely, and that's kind of what you see this O line saying this week, that they're there to protect Taylor, and Taylor, like you said, he may be a rookie to this league, but the guy's played a lot of football, and I think he's probably the one point that people are very excited to see. I'm going to talk about the Ticats secondary. Tunde Adeleke will be playing halfback next to Stavros Katsantonis, so a little different look. Just what do you think about the move and having those two guys who can pick a ball off right next to each other?
Oh, well, going into this game with a quarterback like this, and an offense that's humming, I think it's good to switch it up, give them something they haven't seen before. Whenever you're an offense and you see defensive changes, they notice it, and it's something
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to have to pay attention to. And okay, let's see. They're going to test it out, and I hope we win the test. But I definitely think a good look would be good for them to switch it up and just get a defense, like a little bit of twist, a different flavor or something. So I think that's going to be a good look, and I'm curious to see how it turns out.
You've been a part of these Ticats Argos games. just what is it like being a part of that? And is it a little bit more like, I don't know, energy maybe with the guys? Is there a little more excitement when it's the Battle of the QEW in your experience?
Yeah, of course. It's definitely it's a little bit more exciting, especially when it's a home game. Because when you're in Toronto, it's not the same vibe or feel, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But when it's the games are played here in Hamilton, oh yeah, for sure, the guys, they might do a little bit extra that day, and even if it wasn't Toronto, you got an undefeated team coming in. Who
Yeah.
wouldn't want to stop that streak? So it's like you got Toronto, and then you got a team that's leading, the league and record wise. So they're definitely gonna be fired up, and I'm excited to be there and see it. I really am. It's almost like a appetizer to Labor Day, kind of.
I'm going to put you on the spot again. Do you have a favorite memory of the Toronto Ticats rivalry? Any games or any moments that stick out to you?
For me, and it's crazy. A lot of people, I don't know if they remember this, but it was the first game at the new stadium. Um,
Okay.
we kicked the ball off. I remember we had a flyby, and I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but I was so mesmerized by the flyby that I missed on the kickoff. The guy from Toronto, we were kicking off to Toronto, and they fumbled. So I'm literally looking up in the sky, offense, offense, offense. So I had to run on the field, but that's my favorite memory because it was like this is our first game in the new stadium, and we're dominant. Well, against Toronto in the new stadium,
Yeah.
and
No,
it
that's
was
that
just
that would be crazy.
yeah, it was a great memory, great memory.
Now, I mean, just how important is it for the Ticats to get a win here? I mean, the Argos are 4-0, the Ticats are 2-3, 2-3, the division rivals. How big of a game is this for them to not go to 5-0 and for the Ticats not to go to 2-4?
I mean, I'll say this, Brayden, and this, in my opinion, because football isn't as long, the season isn't as long as basketball and baseball. So
Mm-hmm.
every game really is a big game. When you really just play it out, every game's a big game. But for this one, of course, it's huge because Toronto. Hamilton, that'll be a 3-game winning streak, and that's great momentum. And it's hard to win 3 games in a row in this league. I know Toronto's won 4. I think it'd be great to stop their momentum as well because you want to give them something to think about the next time we see them. You want to we lost to Hamilton. Let's play them again. Let's see what happens. So I think momentum wise, is for both teams is very important. Toronto,
Yeah.
they should come in here expecting to win, and Hamilton, they should be expecting to win coming off their 2 games back to back.
Well, one question I forgot to ask you about the receiving core in Hamilton. You have Tim White, Duke Williams. You have a bunch of options, and now the emergence of Tyreek McAllister, who's just seemed to be a superstar in this league.
Yeah.
What have you seen from that group and Tyreek McAllister stepping in and all of a sudden just taking over, it seems like, in those big yardage games?
Oh yeah, that's an electrifying group. Guys getting open off all the time, and then Duke, he's such a big body. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of guys don't want to even tackle him out there. So I see it's just a dynamic group. It's not like a group of we have a bunch of speedsters. We have
Yeah.
guys that can do different things. So I think it's great for the type of offense that Tommy's trying to establish, and even better for a rookie quarterback. Knowing that he has different kind of guys around him that can help him do what he needs to do.
Yeah, and it seems like Tommy is the last couple of games, his offense has been able to spread the ball out a lot. Like you're not seeing one primary receiver. Does that just make it easier for the offense whenever the defense doesn't really know who the ball is going to or have a good idea of who's going to be the guy that game?
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. Because it gives them something else to think about. And then sometimes, you may have a connection with that receiver and the quarterback that's so strong, there's nothing the defense can do.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like in a basketball game when Steph Curry is on fire and just hitting 8 threes. It's like it's nothing you can do sometimes when
Yeah.
two guys have that rhythm and chemistry going. So, um, I think Tommy's doing a good job of balancing the offense out the past 2 games, especially in the run game. And I know as offensive lineman, that's what we want to see, but just when you run the ball, it gives the defense something else to think about. They can't just pin their ears back and pass rush, pass rush. It's like, oh, they might run the ball, so let me ease up my rush, which makes the game easier for offensive linemen. And if game is easier for the linemen, the game is usually easier for everyone.
Well, I mean, it's something you've seen all season, and it's going to be a huge game here on Friday night. Brian Simmons, thanks for coming on. It's great to chat with you, and I hope to have you on the show here hopefully soon again.
Oh, no problem, Brayden. I'll definitely be in the stadium, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Ticats win.
That was Brian Simmons. Big thanks to him for joining me on the show today. Now, Ticats fans, remember to get those tickets while they're still available for tomorrow night's game. That goes down at 7:30 Eastern Time at Tim Hortons Field. Tickets are selling out fast, and they may be sold out even by the time this show goes out, so make sure to go check and see if there's tickets available if you're looking to see the rival of the QEW Friday night. That's all the time for me today. I want to thank you for joining me on Ticats Today.